In the fast-paced world of international business, where success is measured in quarterly reports and strategic expansions, I never expected to find myself entangled in a web of romance and deception that would shake my professional foundation to its core. This is my story, a cautionary tale of how corporate ambition collided with matters of the heart in the vibrant streets of Bangkok. My journey began in the sleek offices of one of Germany's most prestigious corporations. For 5 years I've been climbing the corporate ladder across their Eastern European operations, from Slovakia to the Czech Republic, building a reputation for reliability and adaptability. When management first mentioned Thailand during a quarterly review, my ears perked up. They weren't just discussing market expansion, they were offering me a chance to be at the forefront of our Asian operations near Rayong. The proposition was too intriguing to dismiss. After years of navigating European business culture, Asia represented not just a professional challenge, but a complete life transformation. My superiors, recognizing the magnitude of such a move, suggested a 3-week exploratory trip to Thailand in early 2022. It was a chance to understand not just the business landscape, but to envision a life in this exotic corner of the world. Landing in Bangkok's Suvarnabhumi airport, I was immediately swept into a world of contrasts. The city's modern skyline jutted against ancient temples, while street food vendors set up shop beneath towering financial districts. I approached my reconnaissance mission with typical German efficiency, dividing my time between our potential office locations near Rayong and exploring Bangkok's diverse neighbourhoods. During the day, I attended meetings, studied local business practices, and networked with potential colleagues. But as the sun set and Bangkok transformed into a glittering wonderland, I allowed myself to explore the social aspects of expat life. Like many before me, I turned to dating apps. Tinder and Cupid became my windows into the local dating scene. I met dozens of women, each interaction teaching me something new about Thai culture and relationships. Then came the message that would alter the course of my Thai adventure. Her profile on Cupid stood out immediately, not because of flashy photos or provocative poses, but because of its understated elegance. Where others were eager to meet, she was reserved, almost dismissive. Her responses were measured, intelligent and intriguing. After days of digital cat and mouse, she agreed to meet for dinner at M25 Cordier in Bangkok. Nothing could have prepared me for that evening. She arrived wearing a perfectly tailored black dress that spoke of sophisticated taste rather than obvious appeal. Her movements were graceful, deliberate. Every gesture seemed choreographed yet natural. When she smiled, it wasn't the practiced grin I'd seen countless times before. It was subtle, genuine, reaching her eyes in a way that made my corporate defences crumble. Our conversation flowed effortlessly from Thai culture to international politics, from her experiences in Bangkok to my life in Europe. She demonstrated knowledge of wine that surprised me, choosing our bottle with confident ease. As the evening progressed, I found myself increasingly captivated not just by her beauty, but by her apparent depth and intelligence. The evening ended with promise, or so I thought. But when I tried to contact her the next day, reality hit hard. My messages went undelivered, my calls unanswered. She had blocked me on every platform we had connected on. The sophisticated woman who had enchanted me just hours before had vanished like morning mist in Bangkok's heat. I threw myself back into work, focusing on the practical aspects of my potential move. I returned to Vienna, buried myself in reports and presentations, and tried to convince myself that the experience was simply another lesson in international relations. Bangkok became a bullet point in my presentations rather than the site of my romantic disappointment. 3 months passed. Spring was blooming in Vienna when my phone lit up with a message from an unknown Thai number. My heart recognised her words before my mind could process them. She was back, apologetic, explaining her disappearance with a complex story about family obligations and personal struggles. Against my better judgment, and perhaps against the very business acumen that had brought me success, I found myself drawn back into conversation with her. This time, though, subtle changes began to emerge in our interactions. What started as casual mentions of financial struggles evolved into more detailed stories. Her mother's house facing foreclosure, mounting debts, her inability to find suitable work. When another business trip to Thailand appeared on my calendar for May 2023, I saw it as fate. We planned an ambitious weekend, 2 days in Bangkok followed by a romantic escape to Krabi. The first day was everything I had remembered and more. She was still stunning, still sophisticated, still seemingly perfect. But as the weekend progressed, cracks began to appear in the facade. On Sunday morning, she became distant, preoccupied with her phone, which she explained was barely functioning. She led me to a high-end electronics store in M25 Cordia, pointing out a Samsung S23 Ultra. Without it, she claimed, maintaining our connection would be impossible once I returned to Europe. I hesitated, not because of the cost, but because something felt wrong. The sophisticated woman I had known was suddenly focused entirely on material needs. When I suggested discussing it later in Krabi, her demeanour changed completely. She left the hotel without a word, sending only a cryptic message about communication difficulties. A week later, all pretense vanished. Her message laid bare the true nature of our relationship. A Samsung S23 Ultra, €1,900. Monthly transfers of €2,000 for expenses. Support for her mother. A list of relationship terms that read more like a business contract than a romantic arrangement. The sophisticated woman who had captivated me was revealed as a master practitioner of what locals call the Feed My Sick Buffalo scheme, a long-term manipulation tactic designed to extract maximum financial benefit from wealthy foreigners. Looking back, the signs were obvious. The initial reluctance to meet, the perfectly timed disappearance and reappearance, the gradual introduction of financial troubles, all were calculated moves in a well-practiced game. I, despite my years of business experience and negotiation skills, had fallen for one of the oldest tricks in the international dating playbook. The experience taught me that business acumen doesn't always translate to personal wisdom. In boardrooms, we scrutinise every detail, analyse every proposal, and question every assumption. Yet in matters of the heart, even the most seasoned professionals can be led astray by a beautiful smile and a well-crafted story. Today, as I continue my corporate career, this experience serves as a reminder that true connections, whether personal or professional, are built on transparency and genuine mutual interest, not manipulation and hidden agendas. The streets of Bangkok still call to me, but now I walk them with opened eyes, wiser for having learned that sometimes the highest price we pay for love is the cost of the lesson it teaches us. The reality of expat dating in Thailand, I learned, is far more complex than any business negotiation. While the corporate world operates on contracts and clear terms, the heart operates on hope and trust, sometimes to our detriment. My story isn't unique in the expat community, but perhaps by sharing it, others might recognise the signs before their own hearts and wallets take the hit. In the end, the true cost wasn't measured in the euros she demanded, but in the trust that was broken and the lessons that were learned. As I continue my international career, I carry these insights with me, a reminder that in both business and love, if something seems too perfect to be true, it probably is.